Hey, what's going on, guys? Gdoggcasey here, and this is a little bit of Diablo 3. Probably coming at you a little bit from left field here, but I wanted to make a quick video just to kind of show you guys what I've been doing in my free time. Now, don't panic. Don't, never come back and visit the channel again. If you're not into D3, I'm not making it like a new feature or a featured content type of thing. You know what I mean? I'm just showing you an episode. And I might show you some more episodes in the future, depending on whether or not you guys dig it, and just kind of how, whether or not I really stick with it or not. But I wanted to show you guys this video because I'm about to do something that I understand is not a huge deal to most people. Like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have done this already. But for me, it's going to be the first time. And that is going to be hitting max level with a hardcore character. At least I think it's the first time. I'm a little embarrassed now because I don't it may have happened way back when, but I really don't think so. Because I'm going to hit level 70 in this video, and I'm expecting to get some sort of achievement or something for it. But if I don't get that, then I guess I apologize if I just forgot. But I don't think so. I got this little probe here. That's actually from BlizzCon 2015, I think. He picks up my gold, so I can stick to my StarCraft 2 roots. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump in here because I wanted to sort of just record this moment and just use it as an excuse to show you guys the game and figure out whether or not any of you actually may or may not want to see a little bit more Diablo in the future. I mean, even if it gets like overwhelming response and everybody really likes it, it's still not something that I'm going to, it's not going to take over as like a main feature, but I'll give you guys updates for sure as I continue to play. But Final Fantasy is still going to be the main thing here. I'm just taking a small break from playing it just because, I don't know, I've been playing this and it's been soothing. Like it's not anything too exciting, but it's really soothing. And it's very relaxing to just come home after work and just like throw on some, some long YouTube video, or even if I just want to throw on the Spotify music playlist and just chill out, not have to think. Now there is a little bit of an added element to it, is that this is a hardcore character. So just in case you guys don't know what that means, if I die, I die, and you never get the character back again. So it adds a little bit of a stressful element to the game. And I'll tell you, during this entire leveling up process, there was one time where if I didn't have a very specific passive setup, then I would have lost my life. But it was much earlier in the game. It was like level 30 or something, I think, when that happened, and I haven't really had a close moment yet, but, we haven't hit max level yet. We haven't increased the difficulty to above hard yet. Right now, the difficulty is on hard. You can see it up there, and my sort of, my thought process was I'd put it on hard right from the beginning, and I would just do these riffs all the way up to level 70, and then we will, we'll start messing around with the difficulty. Sorry, obviously just trying to pay a little bit of attention here. These guys with the Molten, whenever they die, they drop like a big fireball that it explodes, and they tend to group up, especially with my playstyle that I'm using with this Barbarian. So when you kill them, they all die on the same spot and then drop a Molten Bomb on the same spot, and if you get hit by all three of them, it might be goodnight. So you want to be careful. Yeah, so this is actually happening a little bit quicker than I expected. We're going to be hitting 70 relatively soon, especially if we keep fighting these packs of elites. Got a legendary there that I'm a little sad about, because if we would have got it after we hit 70, then it probably would have been a level 70 legendary, but because it is not, I already know it's not going to be useful for my end game. I haven't really put too much thought into my build. I've just been sort of updating things as I go. In fact, I meant to update it a little bit before I started recording, but I just kind of forgot, so I'm just going with what I've been going with for the past little while. And it's basically just like a jump in, group everything together, lower their defense, and then spin to win. And you can see here it's working out pretty well. On hard mode, of course, anything will work on hard mode, so you don't really have to, you know, you don't really have to praise me for coming up with the greatest build of all time, because anything is going to work. And again, those of you not really familiar with Diablo, I keep saying hard mode, but hard mode is like one step above normal. So there's like 15 different difficulties you can play on in this game, and hard mode is one of the easiest, so it's not... Oh, there it is. Level 70. I did get some achievements here. Above and beyond hardcore. Reach level 70. So there, it was the first time that I've reached level 70 on hardcore, so that is really cool. Knees and toes. Oh yeah, level 70 in the season. This is a seasonal character as well. And I'm not going to use this episode to explain absolutely everything about Diablo to a player, or to a, you know, a viewer who is watching mostly for the Final Fantasy content and knows nothing about Diablo, but I will give like basic explanations, and if you guys want to see more, just let me know. I might make one or two more anyway, just because I think it's kind of neat that I can document the progress of a hardcore character during Season 8. This is Treasure Goblin. So we're going to go ahead and finish this rift, and then just wrap up the video. We still have quite a bit left in the rift, actually, so we'll continue going. We'll just talk about some other things and just have Diablo in the background. Today, actually, I had planned to do some Final Fantasy content, and it's, you know, today's Saturday, so I actually have been getting the weekends off work lately, which I guess is good. It's actually not something that I, like, overly value too much. If I had, like, Tuesday, Wednesday off, I'd be actually maybe even happier with that, because then on Sunday, like, either things are closed on Sunday or they close early, so you have more restriction to, you know, if you want to do groceries, you have less time to do it. So if it was Tuesday, Wednesday off, then you would have normal business hours usually to work with, not just for groceries, but for all sorts of other things. But anyway, that's a side tangent. I have the weekends off. Today's Saturday, so it's my first day, you know, the first day of the weekend for me, as well as most other people, so I don't know why I'm explaining it so heavily. But I was supposed to meet with the, like, new superintendent of the building, and I haven't even met him yet. My wife has met him, and he was supposed to come and change the locks on our door because we had misplaced our keys. But it turns out we found another key, so we don't even need to do that. We can just go get a key made. And I was annoyed because apparently the building just doesn't have another key. So I guess that means that, you know, I understand we lost the key, but I guess that means that it's financially up to us to pay to have the locks changed just because the building doesn't have another key. I don't know about that. Like, maybe I signed something, like, maybe it was in the lease and I just didn't see it. But that seems just a little bit weird to me. You know, like, if you gotta change the locks, then change the locks. But I don't think it's our fault that you guys don't have a key. You know, I understand it's our fault that we lost it, but, you know, you should be able to replace your key without issues. Anyway, so he wanted to charge like $85 for that. And I was a little annoyed. And then we found this other key after we had set up the meeting, so, you know, we obviously canceled it, but not until he was late. Like, he told me he was supposed to be here at 12, or he told Jane that he was supposed to be here at 12, and I'm sitting here like, okay, well, it's my first day off of the weekend, and I want to... Oh, I'm stacked on those. Okay, let's go back. Now that I'm 70, I can actually spend these blood shards. What was I saying? Today's my first day off, and I wanted to get some good quality recording done, but now I have to wait until 12 because I woke up at like 10:30 and I just didn't want to I didn't want him to knock while I was in the middle of something. So he ended up being late, and like 30 minutes late, and just never showed up. Sorry, let me just quickly figure this out. So my gloves are level 59. Yeah, let's go with the gloves. I'm just going to buy a bunch of gloves.
Don't forget, luck always
there's a legendary. Okay. So that's obviously better. And any of this better? No. Perfect. I'm going to get that legendary weapon. I'll open it later. But anyway, back to the story. He was like 30 minutes late, and I'm sitting here, and I was getting kind of frustrated because I'm like, I want to record. Jane's coming back from work at 3, so I have like a limited window. You can actually see the time right there, so she's coming back soon. And it just put me in a bad mood. And then, you know, I wanted to go out for a coffee, but, you know, it was 15 minutes till he was supposed to be here, and I had to wait, and I'm just sitting there, and then, you know, it's 12:15 and he's still not here, and then 12:30 and he's still not here, and then I find out that it's going to cost $85 anyway, and I spoke to Jane, and I was like, hey, let's cancel this. So we finally canceled it, and I was a little bit salty, a little bit rustled for a bit, not really, like, recording... not really in the mood to, you know, speak to people who watch the video, where I might, like let some of my bad mood shine through, and I didn't really want to do that. But anyway, yeah, that's the frustration I've had to deal with this morning, which I don't know, maybe isn't really a big deal, but I value my free time so much, and I don't know, maybe I overvalue it, but when I'm working for the week. Like, I'm looking at that week, that first day of the weekend, from Monday all the way through. And I'm just, it's the one thing I'm looking forward to, is just not having to go to work. You know, and being able to spend a little bit more time recording for the channel and stuff like that. So when people put a delay on it, I'm like, okay, well that was like, you know, 2 hours out of my morning that I lost because of this thing that ultimately didn't even have to happen. And was trying to cost us, like, more money than I was willing to put towards it. But anyway, that's the frustration story today. So that's another thing that sort of pushed me to record this Diablo episode instead. I was like, you know what? I'm rebelling against the status quo, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I hope you guys are okay with that. But like I mentioned, it's not going to be Diablo 3 every day, or you know, even maybe weekly, but probably not even weekly. It depends on what you guys say, as usual, but the hope is to just make like an update video from time to time, just show you, hey, like, here's where I am, you know? And hopefully this character doesn't die, because that'll put a quick end to that. I'm still not really sure how I'm going to deal with that if it happens. Like, the way that the seasons work is you have, like, it's usually like a couple months, maybe 3 or 4 months sometimes, to play in a season, and you level up a character from scratch, and you try to make your character as strong as can be. And the people who, you know, like the full-time streamers and stuff like that can get this type of thing done relatively quickly. But when you have a full-time job and you're trying to, where am I going? Whoops. And you're trying to, you know, make like mostly Final Fantasy content and then just play Diablo in your sort of relaxing time, you know, I can't get there that quickly. One thing some of you may know about is there definitely is a community for power leveling, and it is very possible to power level a character from 1 to 70 in like 30 minutes or less, depending on how good your power leveler is. And I chose not to go that route with this character because I wanted the authentic feel of leveling up a hardcore character and getting him from 1 to 70 without dying, without being carried through the entire thing. So I just now managed to do that, so that's one goal accomplished. Now, the goal is to get this character up. Let me just take a quick break here. I'm going to show you this button here. So this is the season journey. Every time there's a new season, you can create a character to go through this like season journey and just complete these goals on your way up. So like as simple as socketing 5 gems in your gear, completing 5 bounties, like simple stuff for chapter 1. Killing certain bosses and leveling up your Mystic and your Blacksmith and all that. And then for Chapter 2, we have some other things we have to do. I just hit reach level 70. Now I'm going to, you know, do this kind of thing off camera and just complete these. But when you complete your season journey, actually, when I complete this, I'm going to get an item. And I think it's actually a piece of your gear set. And they offer you a different gear set based on which class you start with. So you look through all the gear sets and see which one kind of looks the most appealing to you. And to me, it was this one. I've always wanted this gear set for the Barbarian, which has existed in previous seasons, but I just was never able to get it. Because of, you know, these extra passives that they give you. Mainly, the Call of Ancients lasts until they die. The Call of Ancients, I will show you probably just right now, is my R ability, which calls down basically like 3 extra barbarians. And you can see, like, I'm just walking around. We got a pack of elites here, and the barbarians do a lot of damage. And especially when you throw your own damage in, it's just like, it's ridiculous. But they only last for a short time. They're already about to disappear. But having even just 2 pieces of that gear set makes it so that they stay alive until they die. Like, until they die, which they basically never die. I'm guessing that by the time one of them would die, you would easily have your cooldown back and you'd be able to just cast a spell again. So I'm just really looking forward to that, and that's probably when you guys will see the next update video, is if I manage to actually get that. I have been toying around with the idea of streaming some Diablo. Now that I've hit level 70, I didn't think anyone would really be interested in the leveling process, because, like I said, there are so many streamers who already have level 70 hardcore characters. But now that I have one as well, now that we're already level 70 and just sort of completing this season journey, might be something people would like to watch on stream. So I'm thinking about it. And if I do that, then it would be cool, because the inevitable eventual death of this character, it'd be neat if I had like video evidence of it, just to have it for like the, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, this character's journey, basically. And then I can have, you know, it start with him hitting level 70 and then have it end with him eventually dying. But I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I obviously can't commit to that, because I do a lot of playing off camera, and if I do something stupid when I'm not recording and just die, then, well, rip that dream. So it's probably not going to happen, but I am kind of thinking about it. So let me know if you guys think there'd be any interest in watching a stream. But even if as usual, even if I don't really get the response, I usually just kind of do what I feel like anyway and just gauge how it goes. But I won't overwhelm you guys with D3 content. We're getting pretty close. We just have a couple groups left, and then we'll be good. Power pylon. I probably should have held on to that. Basically just gives us a lot more attack power. Paragon levels are a total other thing as well. That basically, like, once you hit level 70, it's just a way to continue to power up your character even after hitting max level. Alright. I will definitely not have the power pylon buff for the big Rift Guardian fight, but I will have my Call of the Ancients, and that's all you ever need. Like, this is going to be a really good example of, like, how overpowered it sounds to be able to have the Call of Ancients just up all the time. Because you can see how quickly I'm sort of, you know, chewing through things right now. On hard, I understand, on hard. But I'm a very fresh level 70 now, so it's not totally out of the question to be on hard. But watch this fight with Blood Maw here, the Rift Guardian. You can see his health up at the top there, just going down relatively slowly. And eventually I'll get him, and I'm not really worried about dying, but as soon as I throw out the Ancients, it's like a whole different ballgame. And this is for a Rift Guardian boss. Imagine, like, just the normal mobs that I don't ever use even any abilities on. Having these guys out to just destroy it would be amazing.
I can't carry it.
Oh, am I really full? Let me just... I don't think I care too much about this stuff. One of them is a bow anyway, so we're just going to go back. I'm not even going to bother picking it up. We'll empty out my bag, do the after Rift routine, and then wrap up the video. Let's check to see if any of this is any good. I'm not really expecting it. Now that I'm level 70, though, I expect that I'll start to get a lot of drops. Oh, look at that. That's very good. That's a level 70 chest piece with 3 socket slots, so I can really boost that up even more as well. So that's really cool. This is a 2-handed legendary mace, I think. Oh, it's just 1-handed, so yeah, not very good. I don't think, anyway. Critical hits have 3% chance to spawn a health globe. That's okay, but no, none of this other stuff is any good. So we're going to go ahead and just salvage, and I don't need that, and that either. And we have a greater rift key already. One thing I'm really excited about, I don't think I have all the materials that I need yet in order to do this. If you are a Diablo person, then you probably already know about the cube, but you can extract legendary powers from legendary weapons or armor, no matter what level they are, and the power still stays, you know, as strong as the power, because it doesn't. The power itself doesn't scale by level. So one legendary belt I got earlier in the game, level 25, gives me Frenzy gains the effect of every rune, and Frenzy is like my main single target DPS, and if I was able to get the power of all the runes at once instead of just one, then that sounds like something that I want for sure. So that's actually going to be my first goal here after we log out there. But anyway, this video was a little bit longer than I expected it to be. A little bit rambly, kind of like it's not really like a channel update video. You know, it's about as close to like a vlog as you can get, I guess, where I just sort of wanted to tell that frustrating story and then show you guys that I've been playing Diablo, and want to get your guys' thoughts on if you want to see any more in the future. It's you know, it's not a big deal whether you do or whether you don't. I'll act accordingly based on the response. And that said, I will get to doing some Final Fantasy stuff relatively soon, and I'll see you guys later.